The topic that is chosen by me for today's seminar is cybersecurity for senior citizens. This presentation I have created as a part of the playbook. This is a playbook for all the senior citizens in order to ensure that they remain cyber secured. So this is an emergency playbook for the prevention, recognition, and rapid response for all the senior citizens with reference to all the cybersecurity measures. Because as we all know, safety online now means safety in everyday life. Because as we all know, जागृत अवस्था के जितने भी घंटे हैं वो घंटों में से तकरीबन 50% टाइम खाली युवा ये मोबाइल फोन पे नहीं बिताता है. आजकल जो हमें जो देखा है वो जो एल्डरली पर्सन्स होते हैं जो हमारे घर में होते हैं, क्योंकि उनके पास ज्यादातर कुछ करने का रहता नहीं है. दे आर जनरली बीइंग फ्री, सो दे आल्सो इन्वेस्ट ऑलमोस्ट 50% ऑफ देयर टाइम in their awakening position on these mobile phone largely. So at that juncture, it is very important that we all understand what are the issues that is being faced by them. Because according to the Ministry of Home Office report, because we come from the Ministry of Home Office and we work very closely with the I4C, according to the National Cybercrime Reporting Portal, NCPS, the cyber fraud, that due to the cyber fraud, especially the senior citizens who has lost their money, that is rose, like earlier in 2022, it was 2,000 crore, that is increased to 7,000 crore in 2023 and 22,000 crore alone in 2024. Or certain has tracked more than 20 lakh cybercrime incident in 2024 and more than 20 lakh cyber incident in 2025. So this is the rate with which this particular cyber fraud is rising exponentially. And if you talk about the UPI transaction, so only 22.6 billion UPI transaction only in March 2026 alone that is being recorded. So that is something around 29. Please, previous slide. Now, in this case, and if you look at the population, previous slide, please. If you look at the population with whom for whom we are targeting over here, 30% of the Indians aged 60 plus have ever used internet. And in 2024, as I said, cybercrime losses spiked to 22,000 crore. And 1,23,672 digital arrest incidents have been reported. And this is something which is quite alarming situation. And since we are navigating this complex financial system, that is being built overnight, and that's the reason that we have to be very, very careful. It's not the personal failing or it's not the systemic failing, but it's all about the awareness and the kind of a knowledge that we all should have when we are using the digital devices. Please, next. Now, if we talk about what are the modus operandi, so it's not something that only the illiterate people or ignorant people or who are not exposed to the greater awareness of the digital devices, they are getting exposed. Basically, even the doctors, we have recently noted that elderly doctor couple kept under the arrest for 2 weeks and they looted almost 14 crores. An engineer, 71-year-old retired engineer, manipulated over months and he lost 1.17 crore. A teacher, 65-year-old retired teacher, he also lost all his pension money, 99 lakhs, and even the civil servants. So it's not something that is only for the rural India or it's only for those people who are not very well versed with the using of technology. And that is precisely the reason that the Supreme Court of India has expressed a concern about this because educated and experienced senior citizens are also getting prey into this thing. And that's the reason that the entire investigation of these digital arrests is being handed over to CBI. Only the CBI would be will examine and investigate all these cases. And so this is the seriousness with which we are looking at the digital arrest cases. Now, I mean, there is an illusion when we talk about the digital arrest, because there is no legal concept like digital arrest under any of the Indian law. So what is the modus operandi? The tactic that they are using, as we all know, we have been reading in different newspapers and through different social media. The tactics that the fraudsters they use is that they impersonate either the police officials or the officials from the telecom regulatory authority, or the officer from CBI, NIA, IB, and then they use a fake legal document and then the video call. Because when we talk about the video call, we all live into the era of the deep fakes. So this is also a serious concern that we'll be discussing little later. So one thing is that they impersonate like these officers. The other thing is that they impersonate as a judicial officers or as a police officers, and they demand money for any bail or for any fines, for the income tax fine. So basically, this is kind of a threatening thing. Actually, the truth is that there is in any case, no real regulatory body or the law enforcement agency would ever conduct investigation or interrogation or collect any payment through WhatsApp or through video call or any kind of a Skype or a Zoom or any Google Meet. They never do that. But sometimes, as the previous speaker rightly pointed out, we at these vulnerable age, we get into such a kind of a psychological mindset. We feel so much lonely, we feel so much secluded, and at that juncture anyone is calling, we just get into that prey. Now when we talk about the equation of Fred, as I said, the scam story that constantly getting changed, but the core formula is this. If you analyze all 1,23,000 digital arrest cases that happened in the previous year, we can classify those cases into these 4 categories. The first is that unexpected call from the police or from customs or from a bank or a court. They are exercising their authority. The other thing is that the most important part, which we all should be quite well aware of, that they really want everything to be complied with great sense of urgency. So they threatens that the account will be frozen or the number will be disconnected immediately, or the person would be sent behind the bar, that the person would not get a bail who is the dear and dear ones. And then they insist upon the secrecy, that if you share this information to anyone, then there would be some kind of a consequences. So instruction to be stayed in hidden, and they are not allowed to hang up the phone or not to speak up to any family. And they ask for the immediate, either this transfer of money or an OTP, Aadhaar, PAN, screen sharing, or they are just sending the link for the KYC verification. So all 1,23,000 cases which is certain has reported, if you analyze this thing, they all fall into the 4 categories, and ultimately they all result into the scam. Now, what are the things that we are supposed to do? What is the rule? What is the playbook over here? The playbook, the fire drill, what to do in the first 10 minutes. The first 10 minutes, basically when anyone is trying for the digital arrest, they are putting you either in shame or in panic. The fraudsters would try to put you in shame or in panic. And that's the reason that they always demand a speedy actions. So what we are supposed to do when we are receiving any such kind of a call, the first and the foremost thing which we are supposed to do is that we have to disconnect the call. Or if you're chatting, we have to stop the chat immediately, and we should not transfer, even if they are insisting, we should not transfer a single rupee if you're using through UPI. Immediately, we have to dial 1930. This is 1930 by I4C. This advertisement is been given number of times to different kind of a public media, to social media. Immediately, this is 24/7 1930 helpline for any kind of a cyber fraud. So we have to register our complaint immediately on 1930. If they are asking for any bank transactions, or even if they are not asking bank transaction, we have to immediately call our bank customer care number, and we have to immediately block or freeze our account. Even we have not shared the OTP, we have not shared we have not clicked the KYC link, but if we receive any kind of a suspicious call, the bank account is to be immediately preserved. And the most important thing, we should never delete the chat or the message or a call. We should always preserve all kind of recording in terms of the screenshots or call logs or UTR numbers or WhatsApp messages. They immediately is to be preserved through the screenshot as an evidence. Please next. The other now, so this is you have to do in the first 10 minutes. Now in the next 24 hours, we have to report and block. So the file an official report. We have a cybercrime.gov.in that is the website. We have to lodge an official complaint there with if any transaction has happened, with all details of the transaction dates, UTR, or any whatever the evidence is that we may have. We have to report the number through which we received the mail. So for any suspect repository or receiving number, we have a Sanchar Sathi or a Chakshu special platform, which is the government has taken an initiative. We have to report this specific phone number or a message which is being used by these scammers. We have to block handset if required, that if our handset is being compromised or a handset is stolen, or we feel that there is some kind of the hacking has happened with our handset, we have to immediately block our handset. And then, if required, we also need to escalate with the bank. If the bank fails to resolve our grievances after the process is triggered, we have to escalate to the RBI ombudsman also, because we have the RBI helpline number also available. So we have to immediately do that. And then we have one case study to discuss over here, that if we do this thing in the next 10 minutes and the next 24 hours, there was a recent case that 71-year-old victim in Hyderabad recovered 36 lakhs rupees immediately out of 43 lakhs that was being stolen, because he has taken the immediate steps and he has escalated the matter. Because the first 24 hours is very crucial to track the fraudsters. Now, what are the evolving threat radar which we are really concerned with? As I said, the first and the foremost is an AI deepfakes. And there is no solution. We don't have any defect detectors, thanks to the recent rules that is notified that if any AI video is so it is a duty of the intermediaries to report that it is an AI generated video. But still, when it comes to the deepfakes, and the deepfakes is being is either the audio or a video which is being shared, so at that point in time, it becomes really complicated for the family members to really decipher the truth, that whether it is a fake video or it is a real call. The second is that fake KYC or a SIM deactivation, that your SIM is deactivated, you have to send your OTP or Aadhaar number. So there are many elderly people, because at the same point in time, the elderly people are very scared of getting disconnected with the relatives, with the kids, with a son or a daughter. So they generally get to prey into this. The fake investment apps that are, because when they are there, the elderly people at home, there are many times, they are surfing the YouTube, surfing different social media, different sites. So there are so many, tempting advertisement promising them for the highest return or a very cheap product. And then, they have to just click on that link, and they generally do that, and they get into the prey. There is an identity theft, especially with reference to your your PIN. So these are the tempered codes, and so these are the different. These are some of the evolving threats which we are yet to encounter the solution with. Please next. So how to spot a real versus fake institutional behavior? Because the real institution would never give any kind of a call through WhatsApp or a Skype. They would always send a communication which is in a written form. They will never get they will never tell you to do anything instantly, and they will never ask you to share any number or KYC. So these are the few things which we require to bring awareness amongst the elderly people. Yes, please, next. Next, please. Yeah. So the another thing which is important, that law is in our side, because when the third party breaches any cases at that point in time, and if we report this thing within 3 working days, then it is, the liability is not on your part. There is a liability is on the part of the bank. So this is something if we are acting immediately, then it's a zero liability on the part of us. There is a heavy criminal penalty under the IT Act and under the BNS as well. And as I said, Supreme Court is also backing this thing, and that's the reason that CBI is being investigated with the powers to investigate with the digital arrest cases. So we hope that the CBI investigates instantly and can then, with NCIPC and with the help of the Certinian and I4C initiatives, this tracking can be done immediately. Next, please. Next, please. So these are, next, please. Hello. So there is one last point I would like to say, that never do, elderly person should remember one thing, that they should never commit any kind of an actions without discussing with one trusted person. The trusted person could be any relative, neighbor, or anyone. So without discussing this thing, they should not do any transactions or any monetary transactions or any such kind of an actions with reference to sharing of any information. So that is one rule that we have to remember of the Family Protective Shield, so that we have to inform and make elderly person aware about it. So, and then of course, there are so many safety reflexes that we have seen every day with reference to never share any OTP, PIN, and CVV, ignore any link. So this kind of an advertisement that is being shared with, and they are bringing awareness through different platforms that we have seen every day. Please. Next, please. Yes. So last thing, there are these three numbers that we have to remember: 1930, RBI contact 11448, 11457, and these are the few things which we have to keep very handy every day on the dining table or on the drawing room, so that we can take any immediate actions. Thank you.